How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews. Back to yet another review. A little bit of heat, a little bit of spicy, fruity, chocolatey, mixed stouty time in the form of Cypress Brewing Company. It's their X-MOE. This is a Imperial oatmeal stout with cocoa, raspberries, and hot sauce. First things first, Martin. Thank you very much for sending me this. Who's Martin? He's actually the proprietor, the owner, the head honcho at Mo Mountain Hot Sauces. It's his hot sauce in his beer. They released this last week, and he just kind of commented on an old Cypress video, and he's like, "Hey man," he's like, "I make hot sauces. They just put my hot sauce in a beer. Do you want one?" And he said that to me with some of his hot sauce. So thank you very much, brother. Go check him out. Like I said, Mo Mountain. I actually looked into it. Usually I don't look into anything, but I kind of looked into the background a little bit, and he's won a bunch of awards for like hot sauces. Listen, I love hot sauces, but I can't talk about it intelligently. So it's one of those things where, I like them, but I can't really speak to if it's good or bad or different. But he looks like he's won a lot of freaking good awards. So hopefully that makes his beer even better, because I love me a little bit of spiciness in my stouts. Anyway, like I said, it was Cypress Brew Company. It was their Imperial oatmeal stout with cocoa, raspberries, and hot sauce. X-MOE, and that'd be that. It's 9.5% alcohol by volume. Done and done. Anyway, it's cool. It's like a little in fuego emoji kind of thing with a little pepper with Day of the Dead masks on and chocolate and raspberries and stuff. So it's all right. Don't blow me away. Okay, let's give this a whirl. I am exhausted. Why am I exhausted? I just moved. You probably heard me say that on some of my reviews. But yesterday was actually my moving day. Moving all my big shit. This is all... It probably looks very similar, but I'm actually in my new place. This is one of the first videos I'm filming, and I did 3 reviews tonight. This is the 3rd. At my newest digs, so I am exhausted, and I want some beers. Piggy Finger, infinite creaminess, but it has this kind of like... It's not a rockiness. You can just kind of tell that head has a kind of aggressiveness to it. It's not soft. And she's dark. She's not the darkest beer in history of mankind. On the pour, non-murky stuff, but, when she's in the glass, she's pretty dark. See what she has on the nose. Raspberries. You definitely get raspberries. That's the big thing that pops out. You definitely get the chocolate, but the chocolate comes off definitely kind of like Mexican style chocolate, because that hot sauce, those spices are soft enough to where they're kind of like down a couple levels below those other spices. The beers, I would go probably raspberries, beer, and chocolate, or even the actual beer flavor of the beer, because beer is flavored with beer, and then the spices are kind of underneath all that. But those raspberries, man, super fresh, kind of jammy, like not necessarily like a fresh fruitiness, more like a fresh jamminess. That little bit of chocolate, nice kind of roasted malts, but it comes off a bit sweeter because of that raspberry. Like I said, it's almost like a jamminess, so that sweetness kind of takes over, and that spiciness kind of lingering underneath. It smells like it might be a little bit thin, though. How can you tell that from a nose? I don't know. I just can't, because I'm magic. I'm not really. Whatever. Cheers. Okay. That heat's definitely kicked up a notch, which you can kind of expect. Usually not going to play that big in the nose. It's big enough. Right now, it's kind of hitting the back of my throat. Give me a nice burn to it. Nothing too big. It's big, but it's not too big. For me, I'm not a big, huge spice guy either, so my little bit big might be a little bit way too small for a lot of people. It's nice. Let's see how the second sip goes down, because this is where usually kind of telling when it comes to these spicy beers. Yeah, it's not that bad. It's pretty cool. It's not as thin as I thought it would be. It's not the thickest stout, especially being almost 10%. Not the thickest stout in the history of mankind, but she's not all that super thin. Those raspberries are still there, but I thought they were going to be way more kind of vibrant based off what I got off the nose, but it's quite nice still. That heat, like I said, it builds with every sip, but it's not getting to the point where it's like uncomfortable. Here's the thing though. It is coming off a little bit hot saucy. And by that I mean like the whole kind of kit and caboodle of a hot sauce. I'm usually more, I like my chilies to kind of be in play. But I'm getting like a hot sauce vibe where you're getting the whole gamut of like peppers and sauces and vinegars and all that stuff in there. Not a bad thing. It's a little bit unique, so it kind of makes me think like I'm like drinking a beer after eating a hot wing kind of thing. It's not that big, that heat, for me, but it's getting close. So I don't know if a couple more sips is going to get a little bit out of control. That's where, honestly, I probably would love this beer if it threw a decent dollop of lactose in there. And even at that point, you could kind of jack up those spices a little bit and make it kind of really sing and let that kind of lactose kind of keep that kind of heat in check. That's where this one kind of sits for me. And that I probably want that heat to knock off just a little bit sooner, just to make the beer more drinkable. It just this beer ends up being not a novelty, but while tasty, not something I'm going to want to drink a whole bottle of because of that heat. But it's nicely done. Listen, the raspberries are super cool. Bigger in the nose than they are in the taste, but it's still nice on the taste. And like I said, they come off kind of very jammy-like, which is pretty cool. The chocolate works well with the kind of roasted malt and kind of melds together. The beer is there. It's not super prevalent, but it's definitely, you know you're drinking a beer. And that hot sauce is nice. But like I said, it probably gets a little bit too big for me to make it a chugger beer, but it's definitely something I want to share with 3 or 4 different people. Nice beer. Not super thin, but not super dense. Like I said, for me, in a perfect world, you know, maybe a dollop of cinnamon, a dollop of lactose, and then I'm sold all day. Because I think that lactose keeps it in check, and that cinnamon would add an extra kind of level to it to make it kind of sing for me. But all in all, pretty fun beer. And honestly, the first time I've got beer mail from an adjunctor. How about that for a word? So for somebody that actually, that's their stuff is in the beer, it's kind of cool to get beer from somebody for that. So, and Cypress is a cool brewery, man. I've dug their beers. The ones that I've reviewed and the stuff I've had lately has been pretty awesome. With me moving to Jersey, not being that far away, definitely a place that I'm going to hit up. I've been there before, definitely hit them up more now that I can actually get out there and not have it be a 2-3 hour car ride. So let's talk about it. It's one of the better spiced stouts I've had as of late. It's worthy of being in a conversation, but not one of the best just because I am a sucker for the combination of that lactose with the heat. And it's kind of missing that. Heat gets a little bit too big for me to kind of get super gaga for. Value and availability, I don't know. I think it was a special release only, right around like $15-16 a bottle, and leave you with, if you like what we like this. If you like chili beers, if you like chocolate beers, if you like jamminess in your fruitiness, because you're going to get those all in this package. Just remember, you know, that heat is going to play a big part in a good way. It's not overly hot. Right now, I'm still kind of okay, but it's still burning the back of my throat a little bit. Give me a little bit of that heat zing, and it's been, you know, a good minute or so since I took a sip. So if you like those things in beers, you'll like this. So there you go. Another every down. Down there if you want to talk about it. Type in Massive Beers into Google. If you want to check me out doing the social media stuff, type in Beer Massive into Google or your favorite podcasting app to see me doing the podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of chili hot sauced beer right now. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.